All right, testing. If you guys haven't seen, Charlie showed that he made $35 million on YouTube AdSense alone. That is a lot of doubloons, but I did the math and I figured out how much he's making per month, per year, per video. And as somebody who's kind of a YouTube monetization-ish expert, although to be fair, not on his level, almost nobody is, I'm gonna guesstimate how much he's making, how much he's keeping. So just to start off, let's look. Is this real? He's got 12 billion views on YouTube, all long form content. So if we take that by his $35 million number that he get, you throw that into ChatGPT, because I dropped out of high school, he makes $2.94 roughly per 1,000 views. That's going to go up and down. That's like kind of an average. This is also calculating membership, so it's going to be slightly different, but it's around there. So average per video on his channel is $5,420, which is actually not crazy when you think about 35 million views, but that's because look how many videos this dude has posted. 6,600 video. This is what we call spam posting. This is actually a huge trend that's going on. I actually did a whole nother video of people doing this on a much lower level who are making probably $30,000 to $70,000 a month by posting 1 to 2 times a day about kind of like current events, current news, which is more or less what he does, taking things that are going viral, making videos about them, very low effort, and just posting a crap ton of videos. If we look in the last day, look at these videos, it's crazy. 1 day ago, 2 days, 2 days, 3. So he's posting like twice a day, more or less, and kind of going around. Very low effort as far as like editing goes and thumbnail style, but still working very well. So let's figure out one of his streams of income and how much he's making. So his average views per video are 1.8 million views per video, which is an insane average. Again, if you can do 1/20th of this, you're still doing well. But he got 1.7 billion views over the past year, so that's $5.2 million in ad revenue alone just on YouTube, more or less. I think it might be a little bit more. I don't really know because some of this data is really old that he showed, so it's kind of hard to gauge exactly. But estimated monthly on 108 million long form views, he's probably making about $320,000 in AdSense. Now, most of the creators that I know make roughly double what they make in AdSense in sponsorships and affiliates and stuff like that. So we could roughly say if he's making, $300,000 a month in AdSense with sponsorships, I'm going to go into a couple of his brands that he has and things like that. But just so you get an idea, if somebody's averaging, 1 or 2 million views per video, they might make anywhere from $30,000 to like $100,000 for a sponsorship. If you start getting into the multi-million views per video, you're looking at 100 to 300,000 per sponsorship on that video. So if you see somebody who's routinely getting, 5 million views a video, you can roughly say that they are making, hundreds of thousands per video on that. Now, Charlie doesn't do a ton of sponsorships, but the ones that he does do, I would say it's safe to say, make a decent amount of money. So if we just look at a couple of his things here, obviously we have Twitch. That was another like $5 million. I'm not a Twitch expert. We'll look at merch. I don't know how often he plugs this, but this could definitely be another revenue stream that does very well. I couldn't really find stats on it. I tried to look it up, but couldn't find much, but you can see there's a decent amount of stuff here. I would guesstimate that this is minimum making tens of thousands of dollars a month by the sheer volume of people that he has following him. I know that there was times when like Logan Paul back in the day was selling $1 million of merch in a day. I don't know. I really don't know the levels of this, but it could be anywhere from tens of thousands to millions of dollars per month going through the merch brand. Now, when you look at merch, obviously, all of that is not going to be profit. If you say, I have $88 hoodie, maybe like 30 to 50% of that is the expenses, and then the rest of that would be profit. Now, with all of these numbers, it is important to keep in mind you got taxes, you got your team. So I'm going to break that down in a second. We'll try to get to an actual number here, but we also have merch sales here. We have this right here, fall sale of storage Ford. When somebody has a sponsorship or a link in the description, they're definitely getting paid for it. So this can go 2 ways. He can either have stake in this company, which with a larger creator, a lot of them sometimes have equity in the company. So that's actually a lot more money than other stuff. But if you looked at just like a affiliate deal, let's say this was straight up affiliate, which it's not, but if it was affiliate, I don't even know what this is. I'm not going to lie to you. Is this a computer? Let's say it's a $2,400 product, probably minimum make 20% on that as an affiliate of his scale. So 20% of that would be, maybe $500 more or less that he would make per time that somebody buys this if he's just doing affiliate and not anything else. He also has Goof Juice, which I know there's some ownership in this and whatnot. I'd actually love to try this because $40 for 100 servings of an energy drink is way cheaper than going to the store. As somebody who's into like all the finance stuff, do it this way. Don't buy like monsters. stupid. Anyways, Goof Juice, probably a similar type of thing. Generally gonna have like a 50% margin on this. So if it costs $20 to produce it and everything, you probably make the other percentage. But honestly, like gross profit's probably gonna be in that 10-20% range when it actually makes it back to him. So roughly, you know, if you're spending $40 to get one of these, he's probably making $4 to $8 on that he's actually taking home. Could be less, could be more, depending on what stage of the company that he's in. But then also, as this company builds up, if he does have equity in it, and let's say GamerSupps, you know, turns into a $100 million brand and he owns some equity, if they ever sell, they get acquired by somebody, could also make, you know, large chunks of money that way, even if he's not making a lot in the day-to-day sales. We got another Use Cheeky, of course. Again, this can go the same way, where he's probably making money every time somebody buys, and then also if this company ever gets sold, you're doing it that way. So in between all of these, it's really hard to say, especially the soap and the Goof Juice are the main ones that I see. I don't see a lot of other sponsorships, but I would probably say it's somewhat safe to say that there's minimum multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars per month coming into this. I would say at least what he's making AdSense wise, more likely double that. So if he's making, let's say $300,000 a month in AdSense, then I would say he's probably making another 600-ish in affiliate and income from his things. So I would say closer to $1 million per month is what I would suspect that this is all bringing in. Some of it might be like, okay, I don't make any money from the soap thing, and then now I make a bunch of money from it. Like it might go in waves like that, but that would be roughly my guesstimate on this. Now, that being said, let's say you make $1 million in a month, probably giving like half of that to taxes. I don't know. Things in Florida, so it's not as many taxes, but let's say you make 12 million a year, you're probably paying 4 to 6 of that to the government. So half the year, this man is working for the man. I just had the biggest tax bill of my life, and I realized if you haven't looked into taxes before, you roughly work 2 to 6 months per year for the government so that they can give your money away to, I'm not anti-taxes, I'm anti-giving money to stupid people. Anyways, he's working a couple months a year for the government, still making a lot of money. For the year, he's making roughly $5.2 million in AdSense. Again, I would say probably double that. So probably in that $10 to $15 million a year that he is bringing in just through the YouTube side of the business. Again, I don't know Twitch all that well. Obviously, it's a couple million a year. So he's probably making between 15 and 20 million a year, if I had to guess, through everything combined. Now, if he wanted to maximize on this, if he wanted to pump every doubloon he could out of you guys, every dollar that he could possibly squeeze out of the grapes of wrath, I don't have a good impersonation of him, but if he wanted to do that, and he posts 30 to let's say 40 videos per month, and he could, I would say minimum get $50,000, probably closer to $100,000 per video if he ran a sponsor in each one, but let's say 50,000. Let's do some ChatGPT. 50K. I could have just done the math on this. It's another $1.2 million per month that he could be adding on top of this if he was doing sponsors all the time. That would be a lot to manage, but he could totally do that if he wanted to. Now, that being said, he does have a team on top of this, which is something we haven't talked about. So let's say you have one full-time person. When you're working for a company like this, it's probably a $100,000 a year job minimum. I don't really know what his team looks like. He's probably got maybe an editor. He might have people on production side. He might have somebody who's taking 20% of the brand deals, but he's got a lot of other stuff going on. So he's probably got multiple full-time employees. So that could be $500,000 to $1 million a year in payroll that he's percentage-wise of what he's making. It's not a ton. And this is one of the reasons why I love YouTube, is because like just anybody can do this. Let me show a couple other channels that were doing this. This is Azul. As you can see, these are, I would say, not the highest quality of videos. They're not getting many views. 12,000, 6,000. He's posting multiple times per day as well. But in the past month, he has gotten 3 million views, and he's in a pretty similar niche as me. So let me just show you what I made in the past month. So I made on 700,000 views, I made about $7,000. So it's roughly like $10 CPM, which is much higher than Moist because I'm more focused, and same thing here. So I'm gonna say on 3 million views, he probably made about $30,000 in AdSense alone, as somebody who's not even averaging that many views per video, but because he's posting so many videos, you only need a couple of them to pop off, 1 out of 5 to pop off, and you're doing all right. And there's actually a ton of other channels that do this. I did a whole video breaking down like 4 or 5 other channels that are making 30 to 70K a month by spam posting like this. I'll link it down below if you want to check it out after this video. Very interesting strategy that obviously Charlie's at the top of this game, but a lot of other people do this as well. And he can also repurpose stuff that he's doing on Twitch. So all these videos he's not even making, he's repurposing some stuff that's done on Twitch, making an intro, outro, whatever, and then posting it on here and taking advantage of viral things that are going on. Now I looked up his net worth and it says $20 million. From what I've seen, he's not a super flashy guy. He's not out there blowing money on like a new house and a new car all the time, from what I've seen. So I'm guessing he's keeping a lot of this money. A lot of times YouTube is a very high profit margin because you don't have a ton of expenses. So I think this number could be accurate. I would say it's probably a lot more than that. I would say anywhere from like it depends on if you calculate like equity in businesses and stuff, but I would say probably in that $30 to $50 million range, depending on how much of that is kept. I don't know anything about his personal life really, but I would say if he sold off everything and kind of liquidated everything, he might be somewhat around there. That being said, the tax man, it's very hard, very, very hard. I would not like to see how much in taxes he has paid. It is in the tens of millions, most likely. Just disgusting. I would say at the rate he's going right now, it's going to be insane how much he's taking in the next couple of years. But ultimately, after you get to like 5 or 10 million, I don't think your life changes a ton. Like once you have a nice place to live, you have a nice car, you don't really look at price tags all that much. Unless you're like traveling constantly and buying private jets, your life doesn't really change that much. So awesome. Congrats to him. This is my guesstimate on everything. Again, watch that other video if you want to see more like normal versions of this, I would say. But for me, this is super inspiring to see the levels that you can do. I've met some other people in person who are doing 6 figures a month, but the number that he's doing definitely shows that there's no limit to how much you can make. You can embarrass like pro athletes on YouTube, which is kind of crazy. So goodbye.